Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're basically playing cosmic detectives, investigating the grandest invisible forces in our universe. I mean, we've got these unbelievable instruments, right? Hubble, James Webb, capturing galaxies literally billions of light years away. But here's the wild part. Everything we can actually interact with, it's just a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole picture. Think about that for a second. Despite all of our crazy technological advancements, the vast majority of reality is completely hidden from us. It doesn't glow, it doesn't block light, it doesn't even cast a shadow. It is entirely invisible. And yet, scientists know for an absolute fact that it's there because of its massive impact on the stuff we can see. This invisible architecture is literally dictating everything about how our universe formed and exactly where it's headed. So, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The invisible cosmos. 2. Dark matter, the missing mass. 3. The accelerating universe. And 4. The ultimate cosmic fate. Let's kick things off with Section 1, The Invisible Cosmos, subtitle, The Limits of the Observable. For centuries, we kind of just assumed what we saw was what we got. But as our measurements got better, the math just stopped adding up. It turns out a staggering 95% of the cosmos is entirely unaccounted for by traditional observation. Dark energy makes up a massive 70%. Dark matter is about 25%. And normal, visible matter, the stuff that makes up the Earth, your phone, and, well, you, that's just a tiny 5% sliver. It's a huge, humbling reality check for modern physics. The vast majority of our universe is fundamentally unexplained. Moving right along to Section 2, Dark Matter, the Missing Mass, subtitle, The Invisible Glue. So let's look at our first suspect here. When astronomers started really looking at how galaxies spin, they found this glaring anomaly. The stars at the outer edges of these galaxies, they're moving way, way too fast. Based on the known laws of gravity, they should literally reach escape velocity and just get flung out into deep space. But they don't. Instead, they stay perfectly bound, tethered by this immense invisible gravitational well. And get this hidden mass isn't just some tiny rounding error in the math. It is 5 times more abundant than all the ordinary matter in the entire universe. It doesn't emit or absorb any kind of electromagnetic radiation, but it totally dictates the architecture of the cosmos. It bends distant starlight and literally holds the entire cosmic web together. Scientists have searched for decades to figure out what this stuff actually is. One leading theory points to WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles. Right now, as we speak, there are these massive experiments buried deep underground, totally shielded from cosmic rays, where scientists are just waiting, patiently waiting for just one passing dark matter particle to bump into a single atom. But so far, those immensely sensitive detectors remain perfectly quiet. Another absolutely fascinating possibility is axions. These are basically described as ghostly particles that just pass right through normal reality without leaving a single trace. Whether it turns out to be WIMPs, axions, or something even weirder like primordial black holes, dark matter remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries out there. It's the invisible scaffolding of the cosmos. Which brings us to Section 3, The Accelerating Universe. Subtitle, A Shocking Discovery. Let's step beyond individual galaxies for a minute and look at space itself. Back in the 1990s, astronomers studying distant supernovae fully expected to find that the collective gravity of the universe was acting like a giant brake, slowing down the cosmic expansion from the Big Bang. But they discovered the exact opposite. Space isn't just expanding, that expansion is accelerating. The actual fabric of the cosmos is stretching faster and faster with every passing second. This sets up this epic cosmic tug-of-war. On one side, you have dark matter, acting as the invisible glue pulling things inward. On the other side, you have dark energy, this completely unknown force embedded in space itself, violently stretching galaxies away from each other at ever-increasing speeds. We call this accelerating force dark energy, but let's be super clear about something. That term is really just a fancy placeholder for our own ignorance. Think about it. It dictates the future of everything, it makes up 70% of reality, and yet we have absolutely no idea what it actually is. It's literally the most dominant presence in existence, and it's completely shrouded in mystery. Right now, physicists basically have 3 main suspects. First, it might be a cosmological constant, like an energy that's just inherent to the vacuum of space itself. Or it could be a dynamic, shifting energy field known as quintessence. Or, and this is a big one, it might just be a flashing neon warning sign telling us that our fundamental understanding of gravity is profoundly incomplete. All right, Section 4, The Ultimate Cosmic Fate. Subtitle, Endings Dictated by the Unseen Hand. So, how does this grand detective story actually end? And what does dark energy mean for, the actual atoms in our own bodies? Well, depending entirely on the exact nature of this dark energy, the universe is looking at one of three dramatic conclusions. Think of them as the three possible final chapters in the ultimate book of reality. Everything hinges on exactly how this unseen force behaves over the next billions of years. We've got two classic scenarios here. If dark energy remains constant, we get the heat death. That's where galaxies drift out of sight and stars just slowly freeze and burn out into a dark, incredibly quiet expanse. But if dark energy somehow weakens and gravity takes back over, we get the big crunch. That's where the expansion reverses, and everything collapses back into an unimaginably dense singularity. But what if dark energy just keeps accelerating? If it grows stronger, we face a terrifying third option, the big rip. In this scenario, the anti-gravity force becomes so intensely powerful that it doesn't just push distant galaxies away, it actively tears apart solar systems, it shatters planets, and eventually it rips apart the very atoms themselves. The universe is honestly so much stranger and so much more mysterious than our everyday experience would ever suggest. It's totally dominated by forces that just refuse to step into the light. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder tonight. Are we sitting right now inside a mystery that will ultimately rip the cosmos to shreds? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me. Keep wondering and definitely keep seeking the unseen.